This video is really going to be funny, and that's why you need to grab your popcorn and buckle up. We're about to unravel the beautiful chaos that is Kanye West. If he were a cocktail, he'd be a Negroni spiked with a double shot of absinthe, served in a diamond-studded chalice, and garnished with a single drop of holy water. One sip, and you're convinced he's a genius.
Because I have people keep on telling me, man, it's just rude to call yourself a genius. So I'm like, oh, okay. How about a multi-genius?
The next, you're questioning reality itself. Think of him like a fireworks show, dazzling, unpredictable, and occasionally prone to blowing up in your face. That's the thing about Kanye. Just when you think you figured him out, he flips the script, leaving you staring at the screen, muttering, wait, what? So let's take a trip through the latest twists, turns, and head-scratching moments from the mind of Ye. I mean, what's more baffling than this?
These are Zionists, nigga. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay. We don't have to...
Or this.
I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
Or even this disaster. This is crazy, right? Yeah, but in this video, we will be starting with the good stuff. Because hey, even a crazy guy like him deserves his flowers. And Kanye West? His music wasn't just good, it was lightning captured in a bottle. A legacy impossible to ignore. His debut project, The College Dropout, which was released back in 2004, wasn't just an album. It was a rebellion against the norm in hip-hop at the time. While hip-hop was obsessed with flashy cars and street bravado, Kanye showed up with an original style by rapping about dead-end jobs, his strong faith, and dropping out of college. Tracks like Jesus Walks and Through the Wire were instant classics as they came out as raw, honest, and totally new. The industry scratched its head, then handed him 2 Grammys.
And the Grammy goes to The College Dropout, Kanye West.
For most, this is all they can hope for when it comes to having a great career. But for Kanye, nah, he's just getting started. This prompted him to go against the hip-hop's king at the time, 50 Cent, a rapper who redefined the term gangster rap with his bulletproof resolve and record sales to match. Kanye, the underdog, dared to challenge him to a first-week album sales contest. 50 Cent's Curtis was pitched against Kanye's 3rd album, Graduation. The result? Kanye won by 267,000 copies. This was a seismic shift. Suddenly, the guy sampling Daft Punk and singing about insecurities was the new blueprint for mainstream success in rap. At this point, Kanye West was soaring. His 5th album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, released in 2010, was a masterpiece. A hip-hop opera featuring over 35 musicians, choirs, Bon Iver's haunting vocals, and Kanye weaving tales of fame, guilt, and excess. Critics hailed it as perfect, and fans continue to analyze every lyric to this day. And Graduation? That album didn't just dominate the charts, it reshaped fashion trends. The shutter shades, the neon glow, those were all Kanye. His influence was so immense that even if he had disappeared after this era, his legendary status in rap would have remained untouchable. But Kanye wasn't ready to disappear. This time, though, he didn't just deliver great music, he embarked on a wild side quest of chaos and controversy. After 2010, he became a shapeshifter. One moment, he was a leather-clad anarchist, screaming on Jesus. The next, a gospel preacher praising God on Jesus as king. He'd passionately call out racism in interviews.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Only to shock everyone by later endorsing a polarizing politician. For years, it felt bold, like he was ripping up the rulebook and rewriting it in real time. Then the cracks began to show. The same man who once rapped that racism is still alive started spreading anti-Semitic conspiracies.
Yet another controversy for Kanye West, also known as Ye. He's been locked out of his Twitter account now, the platform suspending him after an anti-Semitic tweet. That tweet said, quote, "When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people."
The rebel who once condemned corporate greed became a billionaire selling $200 Yeezy slides. The genius who made us think began making us cringe. The artist who once gave us beauty and chaos now seems trapped in his own storm. And let us not forget the moment when he made the deeply controversial statement that slavery was a choice. In a single remark, he appeared to downplay the immense suffering and systemic oppression that African Americans endured for 400 years. His words sparked outrage, as many saw them as a reckless dismissal of the brutal realities of slavery, an institution built on violence, dehumanization, and the stripping away of freedom. Whether it was a misguided attempt at provoking thought or simply an insensitive misstep, the impact of his statement once again reminded us just how absurd and out of touch he can be. And yet, we all kept watching, waiting for the day the rainbows would return. That day seemed like it might never come until he spoke out about the massacre that was Kendrick's destruction of Drake's rap legacy. We really thought Kanye and Drake had buried the hatchet, but let's be real. Kanye being Kanye, there was no way he was going to sit this one out. The Kendrick-Drake beef was already a full-blown rap battle royale. Kendrick came in swinging with bars sharper than a samurai sword. Drake fired back, and the internet completely lost its mind. Meanwhile, Kanye was in the background like that one kid in group projects who insists they're helping, but actually just make things worse. He dropped a diss track that nobody asked for, then suddenly started hyping up Kendrick like they were lifelong besties.
You know we had to get the hooligans up here. We gonna take this pussy nigga out. Yo, Dot, I got you.
Kanye's desperate grab for attention was hilarious. Dude couldn't even get a pity retweet, let alone a spotlight from the whole thing. However, for a hot second, we thought, okay, maybe Kanye's making sense for once at least, for supporting a side. But nope. Fast forward a couple of months later, and he's criticizing Kendrick for being on Playboi Carti's album. Bro, what? It's like watching someone try to solve a Rubik's Cube while blindfolded and drunk. Kanye's opinions change faster than my mood when I see a pizza delivery guy. One minute he's Team Kendrick, the next he's Team Diddy, and by the end of the week he's probably yelling, I just made up a new team. It's exhausting, but also weirdly captivating, like watching a car crash in slow motion. Speaking of Diddy, let's talk about that mess. Kanye's sudden fixation on him feels less like loyalty and more like a desperate grab for chaos. While most people are sprinting in the opposite direction, distancing themselves from Diddy's scandal-ridden name, Kanye is doing the exact opposite, making music with him, selling Diddy-branded merch, and essentially rolling out a solidarity parade for a man whose reputation is in the gutter. It's almost as if Kanye thrives on controversy, like he's more interested in stirring the pot than standing for anything meaningful. One day, he's the self-proclaimed truth teller, raging against corruption and exploitation. The next, he's cozying up to the very figures he once condemned. At this point, his moral compass isn't just broken, it's completely missing. And with every contradiction, every strategic outrage, it is just so hard to take him seriously when his credibility is leaking faster than a cheap faucet. How do you take someone seriously when they seem more invested in chaos than consistency? For devoted rap fans who grew up on his music and saw his massive influence on culture, watching his decline is tough. Kanye was once the artist who made us challenge the system, the voice that spoke truth to power, pushing conversations about race, class, and creativity into new territory. But now, he's like a malfunctioning GPS, constantly recalculating, veering off course, and occasionally shouting, reroute, at full volume. One moment he's a visionary, the next a contradiction in motion. Keeping up is exhausting, and honestly, it's just sad. The man who gave us Jesus Walks is now delivering whatever this is. At this point, Kanye's wild takes are no longer surprising. Reports suggest he has surrendered to squalor and is now addicted to nitrous gas. Even his controversial, hypersexualized ex-wife, Kim Kardashian, had to walk away from his antics. Kanye has essentially become hip-hop's version of that one uncle who shows up to Thanksgiving with a bottle of cheap wine and a head full of conspiracy theories. At first you listen because, hey, maybe he has a point, but then he starts ranting about the government putting fluoride in the Kool-Aid, and suddenly you're looking for someone to cut the mic before he goes live on Facebook. It's entertaining and exhausting in equal measure, leaving you to wonder, has he always been like this? For those who have followed his antics since the infamous 2009 MTV Video Music Awards incident, His recent tirades feel like just another day in the life of Kanye. But his die-hard fans still claim he's a misunderstood genius, which raises the big question, is Kanye still the visionary he once was, or has he officially lost it? Honestly, it's probably a bit of both. The man is undeniably brilliant. We've seen his impact both as an artist and a businessman. But brilliance without focus is like a firework without a launch pad. It fizzles out into nothing. His legacy is secure, but his present, it's a mess. And as much as people want to root for him, it's tough to keep up with the constant contradictions and chaos. But hey, that's just my take. What do you think? Is Kanye still the GOAT, or has he become the guy you side-eye because he's low-key lost it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's argue like it's a family dinner. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because with Kanye, there's always more chaos to unpack. Who knows, maybe one day, he'll surprise us all and make sense again.